and then we'll be ready, guys. Hey, let me go here. Hey there, everyone. Are you tired of being congested, short of breath, or constantly battling seasonal allergies? And are you looking for some natural ways to improve your respiratory health and protect yourself from harmful pollutants in the air? Well, today we're going to dive into the world of respiratory health, and we're going to learn how to strengthen your lungs, how to boost your immune system, and how to reduce inflammation using some natural and effective techniques. We're going to discover the power of essential oils, plant-based remedies, and some lifestyle modifications that can really transform the way you breathe and help you feel your best, okay? Because I don't want you to let respiratory issues hold you back from living your best life, okay? Hey, everyone, and welcome all of you as you're coming in. Thank you so much for taking the time out to spend with me today. I'm really excited because today I'm diffusing lemongrass and orange. And not only do they smell amazing together, but this is just a little side note, okay? They have antioxidants in it, they have an expectorant in it, and anti-inflammatory, decongestant, and they're also antimicrobial. So these properties really support the respiratory system, which we're talking about today. And it'll help reduce inflammation, break up mucus, and fight, all those yuckies that's out there. In addition, I just wanted to remind you that they are free as a gift with purchase on the loyalty rewards program this month. We'll talk about that a little later, but I'm just enjoying diffusing it. Hey, everybody, this is Dr. Nozella here, a doctor of education and very passionate about empowering others to achieve the quality of life they desire. Professionally, I'm a retired county extension director where I manage 2 federal nutrition programs for underserved people. For almost 20 years, I taught nutrition. I'm a professor, a writer, a speaker, a researcher, and a wellness consultant. And like most women, I struggle to live that balanced life. One thing I've learned is that I have to be very intentional, even protective about taking care of my body, taking care of me. I have to invest in me because I really believe my body is the temple of God. I only get one. I want to take good care of it. Unfortunately, I don't have access to nature the way I believe God intended. I don't enjoy the pure mountain air or the spring water. I don't have a garden that produces fresh food for me daily. I'm a city girl. I grew up near a dump surrounded by a lot of pollution, and my toxic load is really great. And that puts me at a higher risk, as it does many women, for disease. I had respiratory issues and off and on throughout the years. One summer, I remember I took an over-the-counter medicine every day just to make it through the workday. About 20 years ago, I got some kind of nasty flu. And even though I rarely got sick, this was a beast to be reckoned with. And when I finally got better, the only thing that was left was this ugly cough. And it wasn't always there, but I'd have these coughing spells, make everybody think I had tuberculosis or something. And I'd have them at night and it would just really scare us a lot. And I went to a lot of doctors. We did a lot of tests, tried a lot of different meds, did the allergy test. Nothing really helped. In fact, some of the things they were doing made it worse. Even the doctor didn't know kind of what to do. So finally, I started working on building my immune system, watching what I ate and trying to avoid toxic air and kind of lowering my stress level. Some of the things we're going to talk about today. And this really helped me in a great way. And so even though I damaged my lungs from a lot of the things that I did in the past, I found that the essential oils and the supplements and some of the things we're going to talk about have really helped me to gain a better respiratory health. I'm not 100%, and I may never be, but I will say that my doctor took asthma off of my charts because my coughing spells were so rare. And generally they were triggered by pure, really bad air quality or stress or poor eating habits. And these were things I could control. So I want to talk to you today about how you can strengthen your respiratory system and why air quality is so important. There are some things we can do to support our respiratory health, to strengthen our lungs, And those are some things I want to talk to you about. And you don't have to just say, hey, I got allergies, I'm just going to feel bad during this season. There are a few things you can do to help. So first, let's explain that what I'm sharing with you today is not intended to replace the advice of your healthcare provider. It's not intended to diagnose, to treat, to prevent, or cure any disease. I'm a doctor of education, and I'm committed to helping you to have access to all the resources available that you need so you can make the best choices for your health. My passion is really to empower you to take charge of your health and to live according to God's design for you. I'm really excited about the way Young Living has blessed me and the things I've studied over the years with natural health, and I'm excited to share those with you as I learn them. But when we talk about respiratory health, I want to encourage you to find a healthcare provider that aligns with your goals for your health, that'll work with you so you can enjoy optimal, vibrant health and not just maintenance or the status quo. You deserve the best. So when it comes to respiratory health and the challenges that you may be experiencing during this season in particular, I believe it's really essential to be aware of the health risks that can affect your respiratory system. The immune system and the respiratory systems are two of the body's most important defense mechanisms against external threats. When we breathe in polluted air, it can really damage our respiratory system. It leads to chronic inflammation and it weakens our immune function. And this can really make us more susceptible to infections, to allergies, and other health problems. So let's just take a look at some of the things that increase your risk for poor respiratory health. First of all, we've got to talk about air pollution because it's a significant risk to respiratory health. It can cause inflammation, it can cause irritation, and real damage to the lungs. Long-term exposure to air pollution has been linked to chronic respiratory diseases like asthma, COPD, lung cancer. Air pollution has also it will exacerbate existing respiratory conditions, and it can really have some severe symptoms. As a city girl, I've been exposed to more air pollution than my rural counterparts are. So I have to be concerned about this. And then, of course, smoking is one of the most significant risk factors for respiratory health. It can cause chronic bronchitis, emphysema, lung cancer, among just a few of the things. And then secondhand smoke, keep in mind, is also harmful for non-smokers. And this includes candles, okay? I learned that burning candles was the same as smoking when my children were diagnosed with asthma. Another thing to think about are allergens. We hear a lot about them. Things like pollen, dust, animal dander. Those can trigger allergic reactions in some people, and that leads to respiratory symptoms such as sneezing, the wheezing, the difficulty breathing. Personally, I've kind of learned that the stronger my immune system and my respiratory systems are, the less I'm affected by these allergens. And then there's also those respiratory infections like what I got, such as the flu and the pneumonia. They can be severe and they can cause respiratory complications, particularly in some of our vulnerable populations, like our young children, our older adults, or people that have a weakened immune system. And this is something that I had to watch for when my children were young. Like a simple cold could often develop into pneumonia if I didn't take quick action. The other thing to think about are occupational hazards. These are things like certain occupations that people work at where there's hazardous chemicals and particles that are damaging their lungs, and that will lead to respiratory problems. Some workspaces have mold or asbestos or lead. Many are exposed to coal. So some of these are things to think about. And then most people don't think about it, but stress and anxiety can have a significant impact on your respiratory health. When we experience stress or anxiety, our bodies release hormones that can cause our breathing rate to increase and it becomes more shallow. And this can lead to hyperventilation, which can cause symptoms such as dizziness, shortness of breath, and chest pains. In addition, stress and anxiety can also trigger asthma symptoms or worsen existing asthma. And this is because stress can cause inflammation in your airways, which can make them more sensitive and more prone to react to triggers. And so that's kind of why we're recommending that you learn to manage your stress and anxiety, to use some of the relaxation techniques, exercise, and other stress reducing activities that we're going to talk about. All of this supports your respiratory health. Because in this class, you're going to learn how your air quality affects that immune system and the respiratory systems. And we'll talk about how to use essential oils to improve your air quality and some other practical tips for reducing exposure to your air pollution. And really, just by taking steps to improve your air quality in your home and in your workplace, you're going to help protect your immune system and your respiratory system. And that's going to improve your overall health and your well-being, and just going to enjoy life a little better doing that. So let's pause just a quick minute to understand how the respiratory system works so we can learn to take better care of it. This system is responsible for bringing oxygen into your body and removing carbon dioxide. It includes your lungs, your trachea, the bronchi, the air sacs called alveoli. I'm not saying that right, probably. But when we breathe in, air enters into our body through our nose and our mouth, and it travels down that trachea, or the white windpipe. And that trachea then will split into two bronchi. One will go to each lung, okay? And so those bronchi continue to divide into smaller little tubes, which lead to that alveoli. And these tiny air sacs are where the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide takes place, okay? As oxygen enters your bloodstream, which is so important for your bloodstream, it's transported into your cells to provide the energy that your body needs. At the same time, that carbon dioxide is produced and it needs to be removed from your body. We don't need it, the plants do, okay? So when we exhale, the carbon dioxide is released from our body through our lungs. What's a big deal about this? Well, oxygen is like the fuel for the body's engine. It provides energy for every cell. Without it, the body can't function properly, and it can really lead to some serious health problems. And that's why it's just so important to take care of this respiratory system by avoiding some of the harmful pollutants and irritants in the air, such as cigarette smoke and air pollution and all the other things we've talked about. So we want to learn to strengthen our lungs by practicing many of the things we're going to talk about, like breathing exercises and incorporating some natural remedies, such as the essential oils or herbal supplements. All this is going to really help. So let's talk about some things that you can do. Having taught nutrition for 20 years, I have to start with that, okay? Because it's so very important for your overall health, okay? Especially the role that it plays in supporting your respiratory system, because the lungs and other parts of your respiratory system require key nutrients to function properly. Some of these nutrients include antioxidants, because the antioxidants help protect the respiratory system from oxidative stress, which can cause inflammation and it can damage your lung tissue. Some examples of antioxidants foods would be, or just some of the antioxidants in general, is like vitamins A, vitamin C, vitamins E, including selenium and beta carotene. And the foods that would have these would be things like berries or dark chocolate, nuts, artichokes, green veggies, spinach, carrots, things like that. Also, you want to make sure you're getting omega-3 fatty acids, because they have anti-inflammatory properties and they will help reduce inflammation in the lungs. That includes foods like your fatty fish, your flaxseed, chia seeds. Those are all really good. Vitamin D is really important because it maintains lung health and function. Studies have shown that people with really low levels of vitamin D may be at an increased risk of respiratory infection and some other respiratory problems. And you've got to get your vitamin D mostly from the sunlight or from supplement. And we remember that those that have the darker pigmentation have more need for vitamin D. So really look out for that. And then magnesium is a mineral that helps kind of relax the muscles in the respiratory system. And so it makes it easier to breathe. So you can get good sources of magnesium from your green leafy vegetables, from nuts, from whole grains, things like that. And then zinc, you may have heard about, is important for maintaining the healthy immune system, which is essential for protecting that respiratory system from infection. So good sources of zinc include meat, shellfish, legumes. Those are all wonderful. And so it's so important to eat a balanced diet that includes a variety of fruit, vegetables, whole grain, lean protein, healthy fats, because they help you provide the nutrients that your respiratory system needs. But of course, we know it's almost impossible to get all of the nutrients that we need from our diet, mainly because today's agricultural practices and our lifestyle habits don't provide us with the amount of nutrients in the food that we're eating. So supplementation is almost key. And we don't really have time to talk a lot about supplements, but I personally have found that Young Living supplements have really been very effective, as I've also used them to support my nutritional needs. That's a whole nother topic. Well, let's just talk about, in addition to nutrition, exercise is essential for maintaining your good respiratory health. Okay. When you exercise, you're breathing deeper and you breathe faster, and that actually strengthens your lungs and it increases your lung capacity. And this can help improve your overall respiratory function and make it much easier for you to breathe. In addition, exercise can help to improve your cardiovascular health, which is closely linked to the respiratory health. When you exercise, your heart works harder to pump that oxygen-rich blood to your muscles, which helps to improve the efficiency of your respiratory system. So regular exercise can also help reduce the risk of respiratory infections and diseases such as pneumonia, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. This is because exercise can help to strengthen that immune system, which is so important to help you fight infections and disease. Oftentimes when people are having, though, respiratory issues, they might be afraid to exercise and they're really kind of hesitant. So I want you to just think about not just the word exercise, but think about just moving and move according to your ability. Walk a little bit more, start slow, do gentle stretches, do chair exercises. That's something you can do in place. It's recommended that most adults get 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic exercise, and that's throughout the whole week. Break it up into 10-minute segments. Do a little brisk walking, and maybe if you like something like cycling or going to the gym, that's okay. But you just want to move more, and then consider you want to keep doing the stretches. And strength training is also key in really helping with total wellness. The next thing to think about is your stress management. It is so vital to your respiratory health. And it's often an overlooked factor, but stress and anxiety can negatively impact your respiratory system, leading to symptoms like shortness of breath, chest tightness. I mean, stress management techniques like meditation and breath work, they really help to reduce your stress levels. And that in turn helps to eliminate or alleviate some of your respiratory symptoms. So things like regular practice of deep breathing exercises like diaphragmatic breathing, going way down into the diaphragm, and pranayama breathing, they increase your lung capacity and they really do improve your oxygen uptake. And this really leads to better respiratory function and just overall health. Meditation and breath work, those are techniques that help eliminate or alleviate symptoms of respiratory conditions like asthma, COPD, allergies. These practices can really help improve your breathing patterns. They reduce inflammation in the airways and they really ease feelings of breathlessness. The stress management techniques like the meditation, Tai Chi, yoga, breath work, they all help improve your overall well-being, which includes your mental and your emotional health. And when we feel better emotionally, we tend to breathe better physically. And this, again, positively impacts your respiratory health. So while we talk about what you can do, there's some other factors that are affecting your air quality and also your respiratory function. Did you know that air pollution causes more deaths than alcohol, malnutrition, and drugs? And I got this even before we had the global pandemic and all that kind of stuff. So now we've got even more problems with that. But just ask you, are you or anyone that you know experiencing irritation of eyes, nose, and throat, headaches, dizziness, nausea, shortness of breath, coughing, chest pain, or more serious things like COPD or lung cancer or heart disease or stroke or reduced lung function, maybe developmental problems in children. All of these can be the short or the long-term effects of exposure to environmental toxins. So let's talk about some of the pollutants that can be found in the air that we breathe, okay? Like particulate matter, okay? This includes small particles in the air that come from sources such as the exhaust, okay? Power plants, wildfires, even those that are states away affect us. Ozone, it's a gas that can be found in the air, and it's formed when pollutants from sources like car exhaust and industrial emissions react to sunlight. There's nitrogen dioxide. This is a gas that's released when fuels like coal, oil, and gas are burned, and it also causes respiratory problems. Then there's sulfur dioxide. This is a gas that's released when fuels such as coal and oil are burned, and they also cause respiratory problems. We've already talked about dust, pollen, animal dander, mold, and toxic chemicals. Many of these we can't control. Some we can. So it's really essential that we take steps to reduce your exposure to air pollution. Do things like take more public transportation or drive less, walk more, biking instead of driving, avoid idling your car, and start to use some energy efficient appliances. Those are just a few ways to start. So you may ask yourself, well, then I'll just stay inside, right? No, I don't have good news for you about being indoors either, because indoor air is 100 times more polluted than outdoor air, according to the Environmental Protection Agency. Indoor air pollution is one of the top 5 environmental risks to public health, and that's not good news. We spend 90% of our time indoors, so we should be aware what's in this air we're breathing, and it's important to be aware of the hidden toxins that are present in our environment that can really harming our respiratory systems. So brace yourself, but I hate to tell you this, many scented candles, your air fresheners, your cleaning products, your dryer sheets, insect repellents, personal care products, perfumes contain harmful chemicals that can cause respiratory issues and exacerbate existing conditions. For example, air fresheners and scented candles contain VOCs, or volatile organic compounds, that can irritate your respiratory system. They can trigger asthma attacks. They can even cause long-term damage. Similarly, many of your cleaning products contain harsh chemicals like bleach and ammonia that can be very toxic when they're inhaled and lead to respiratory problems. Insect repellents also contain chemicals like DEET, which can cause respiratory issues, especially in people that have pre-existing respiratory conditions. Personal care products like hairspray and perfumes, they also contain those VOCs that can really irritate the respiratory system and cause some major breathing issues. So let's just talk a little bit about some of the chemicals and toxins in your personal care products that include hand sanitizers and cleaning products. These also have the negative effects of on your respiratory health. Many of these products contain the VOCs I've talked about and some other chemicals that really irritate your lungs. They trigger that asthma. They worsen your respiratory symptoms. For example, as we've been, using a lot more of hand sanitizers, right? But hand sanitizers often contain alcohol and other chemicals such as triclosan, which can really irritate your lungs and cause respiratory distress. And some cleaning products such as oven cleaners and bleach, ammonia, contain harsh chemicals that can be particularly harmful to the respiratory system, especially when they're used in poorly ventilated areas. Personal care products like your hairsprays, your perfumes, other fragrances that are hidden in a lot of things also contain those VOCs and other irritants that just make your respiratory symptoms worse. So it's so important to be mindful of the chemicals that are in these products that we're using and their potential impact on our respiratory health. It's so important to try to opt for natural and non-toxic alternatives that can be much safer and protect your health. Um, and I don't want to depress you too much, okay? But I have to remind you that just because we assume something is safe, that is tested because it's on the shelves and we can buy it, doesn't really make that true. Even if it has attention giving, getting labels and it talks about, you can put all its health benefits or whatever, they could be just buzzwords. The TSCA in 1976, that's the Toxic Substances Control Act, grandfathered in about 65 to 100,000 chemicals that are currently on the market today. They have not had any safety testing. And so we know very little about those chemicals. And of the chemicals that have been tested today, toxic labeling is required for only about 50% of them, okay? If the animals that it's tested on, if 50% of those animals die, okay? So under the TSCA, manufacturers are protected by trade secret laws that allow them to keep their ingredient list secret. Sometimes it's just because they want to keep their competitors from knowing what their formulas are. But other times they may be really trying to hide some things. You really don't know, okay? And to date, the European Union has banned like 1,300 chemicals in cosmetics, where our FDA in the US has banned only 11, okay? And to be honest with you, I'm just not comfortable with using something that almost half of the animals tested have to die in order for them to take it off the market for people, okay? And I'm also uncomfortable with all the lack of disclosure of the ingredients, especially fragrances. So what I've been really excited about is that when I'm using Young Living, I know what I'm getting. I know it's a pure oil. And it's so important because we are responsible for our health. We have things happening to us. We want to know why, and we don't know if we're not educated, okay? So it is important for us to learn to read our labels. It's important for us to understand what's going on in our bodies. It's important for us to protect our children, to protect our health. And we've got to take responsibility for ourselves so we can understand what's going on and then do what we can to protect ourselves and to protect those that we love. And I believe that we can get started in a way that's going to be safe, effective, and budget friendly. So let's talk about just a little bit this. And before I do that, I do want to say, let's understand, take a moment to just understand what essential oils are, because we kind of throw that term around. We talk a lot about fragrances. People can buy them everywhere. And sometimes we really don't know what we're talking about. But I want to talk about real essential oils, not those that have been made up in a lab, not those that are adulterated for profit. Essential oils are the liquids that are extracted from plants. Think of them as plant concentrates. Essential oils help the plant to stay healthy, and they do the same thing for us. We use them, and they've been used for ages for aromatherapy, for home cleaning, for personal care, to support every system of the body. But the thing is, not all essential oils are created equal. They're just not, okay? Premium essential oils will help oxygenate the body, and they will support your overall health in general and your respiratory health in particular. And so you say, how do I know which ones to choose? Well, for me, it's come down to something as simple as the seed to seal promise that Young Living has. They're the only company that has this promise. But basically what it says is they are committed, okay, to a quality, okay, where they're going to control the entire process of providing this essential oil from the seed that's planted, the ground is planted in, to the seal of the body. Okay, you can rest assured you're getting a quality product made from the highest quality essential oils and other naturally derived ingredients. Check out some of the strict guidelines that they abide by to fulfill their promise, not because they have to, but They only use plant material that's grown on corporately owned farms or carefully vetted partner farms, and you can visit those. They use sustainable farming and sourcing practices, providing the purest oil. They take great care, okay, to preserve and protect the natural resources. So important at this time. They hand weed their fields so that they use zero use of pesticides. Their essential oils retain all of their natural constituents and their therapeutic properties, and they use a food grade distiller, okay, with the state of the art design and distillation methods. Um, they use a very low pressure and low temperature distillation without the use of solvents or synthetic chemicals. It takes longer, it costs more, but you get a higher quality essential oil. And they use a rigorous testing on each batch by their internal labs and also by third-party facilities, okay? And the oils are carefully reviewed through each step of production, okay, so that they make sure that they're abiding by these standards. And the thing I like about it is at any point these high qualities aren't met, they don't use it, they don't sell it to us. And I really, really appreciate that about that. Now, how do you use them? Before I'm going to share with you a few of the oils that I think are just super important for respiratory health. But before we get in, let's just talk about the ways that you use the oils. You can always use them topically. Apply them to your wrists, your neck, your back, your feet. You don't want to put them on your inside your ears, and you don't want to put them in your eyes. But if you happen to get something in your eyes, don't rinse it with water. Use an oil, a fatty carrier oil around that area. It won't harm, you'll just be uncomfortable, and that will quickly relieve any discomfort you're feeling. But you can also use them aromatically. That's the way most people use them. It's the quickest way. You just open a bottle, smell it, breathe it in. Okay, it's just that simple. Or use a diffuser and you get the therapeutic benefits of diffusing. Or with Young Living, you can use them internally, okay? But only oils that are pure, approved by the FDA for internal use can be used this way, okay? So we have special labels called the Vitality line. They're white labels, and they let you know that the oils are safe for ingestion, okay? Now, I want to explain there is a difference between what the difference is between the Vitality and just the quote regular oils. The oil inside the bottles are the same. So if you have a lavender Vitality and a lavender that's in a solid color label, it's the same oil, but the Vitality label just lets you know that that oil can be used for ingestion. So the only difference is going to be the label. But with the Vitality oils, you can add them into a vegetable capsule. You can take them that way. You can add them into your tea. You can add them into your water. You can cook with them. They're just so versatile and an easy way to get them in. The Essential Oils Premium Starter Kit that we're kind of looking at today has 5 Vitality oils in it. Peppermint, lemon, Vitality, these Vitality, citrus fresh, digize. And all of these oils will come in a larger bottle with a solid label if you want to get it like that later. So I want you to know it's important to keep in mind that you want to use the oils safely and you want to use them appropriately. And if you have real severe respiratory condition, consult with your healthcare provider, someone that's going to work with you so you could use these products safely for your health. But let's get started and talk about just a few that are really powerful for respiratory health. And I have to start out with lavender, okay, which is probably one of the most well-known essential oils, okay? They call this one the Swiss Army knife of oils because it's just so extremely versatile and it can be used for so many things, okay? And I'm going to remind you, I'm not a medical doctor, okay? I don't diagnose, treat, or prescribe anything for you. But you might want to get you a really good essential oil reference book so that you can look up some of the many things that these oils can do for you. I'm just going to talk to you about a few of them today. But lavender does have several properties that support your respiratory health. It's known to be anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, analgesic properties that it has. These properties make it really helpful in managing respiratory conditions such as asthma, bronchitis, and coughs. And studies have shown that inhaling lavender essential oil can help reduce the airway inflammation and improve your respiratory function. Additionally, lavender can help reduce stress and anxiety, which remember we talked about is known to aggravate your respiratory conditions. So in aromatherapy, lavender is often used in diffusers or in sprays to just help clear the airways and promote kind of a relaxation. It can also be added to hot water for inhalation as a steam kind of treatment. And remember, our lavender comes in both the vitality version as well as just the solid version. So it can be used internally as well. Now let's talk a little bit about lemon. Oh my. Lemon is that citrus fruit that's known for so many health benefits, including it supports the respiratory health. This essential oil contains high concentration of a compound known as limonene, which is a very powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory agent. Some of the ways that it supports your respiratory health is it relieves congestion. It can clear the respiratory system. Limonene in a lemon oil helps to break up mucus and phlegm in the respiratory tract, which makes it really easier to breathe. It fights respiratory infection because of its antimicrobial properties that can help fight the respiratory infections such as bronchitis and pneumonia. It can also help to prevent the growth of harmful bacteria and viruses in respiratory system. It really reduces inflammation. It has anti-inflammatory properties that can help to reduce that inflammation that's in that respiratory system, especially helpful for those who suffer from conditions like asthma and allergies. And it really boosts your immunity because it's so high in vitamin C, which is that important nutrient that we talked about before for the immune system. And overall, we say lemon oil is just a really great natural remedy for respiratory health, okay? And it comes either as a vitality version or in the solid version. So you can use the vitality in a veggie cap and you can take it that way as well. And one cool thing that's about the lemon essential oil that we provide is it's cold pressed from the rind of the fruit. So it doesn't contain high acid content that's on the inside of the fruit, okay? And therefore it's not hard on your teeth enamel. So that's awesome about it, okay? And I do want to talk to you a little bit about peppermint because it has those antimicrobial and antiviral properties that can help support the immune system. It contains compounds like methyl, rosmarinic acid, flavonoids. They've been known to have really immune boosting effects. Peppermint has anti-inflammatory properties that can help reduce inflammation and promote healthy immune response. And it's commonly used to relieve symptoms of colds or flu and other respiratory infections. Additionally, the menthol in peppermint has this real cooling effect on the throat, which can help soothe irritation and discomfort that's associated with respiratory issues. And again, it comes with the solid label. So you can get the solid label or the vitality versions. And peppermint is awesome in so many foods that you might fix: brownies, cakes, cookies. You can add it to your drinks, your teas, your protein shakes. It's just so very versatile. And I have to talk about one of my favorite, which is frankincense. Frankincense has such a long history of use in traditional medicine to support your overall being and healthy immune system and for treating respiratory ailments. Its anti-inflammatory and anti-infectious properties make it a potent tool for supporting your respiratory health. Frankincense can help reduce inflammation and swelling in the airways, again, which will make it really much easier to breathe. It can help loosen and clear mucus in the lungs, which reduces congestion and prevents infections. Studies have shown that frankincense essential oil can have antibacterial and antiviral effects, which can help to protect the respiratory system from infections. It's also been shown to have antioxidant properties, which can help protect the cells of the respiratory system from damage that are caused by free radicals. And it as well comes in a vitality version, so it can be ingested as well. Talk about 2 or 3 blends here Raven is an essential oil that's a combination of several oils that are known for their respiratory and immune supportive properties. It contains robin sarra, lemon, wintergreen, peppermint, and eucalyptus radiata essential oils. The robin sarra is known to be have antiviral properties, and it can help support the immune system by fighting off viruses that cause respiratory illnesses. Lemon, we talked about how it's high in vitamin C and is so essential for a healthy immune system. Wintergreen is analgesic, and it has anti-inflammatory properties that help alleviate some of the respiratory discomforts. Peppermint, as we talked about earlier, it has those cooling and soothing effects on the respiratory system. And then the eucalyptus radiata has expectorant properties that can help really clear the airways. So together, when you put these, they work synergistically to help really support the immune system and the respiratory system, and alleviate some of the respiratory discomforts. Raven essential oil blend, it can either be diffused, or you can use it topically, or you can just inhale it from the body. It's really an awesome way to use it, and very, very powerful. And I just love the aroma of it as well. A stress away is an essential oil blend that contains a combination of relaxing and soothing oils such as lavender, cedarwood, and copaiba. And while it's primarily known for its calming properties and its ability to reduce stress and anxiety, it's also indirectly supports the respiratory system by promoting relaxation and reducing tension in the body. Remember how we discussed earlier that stress and tension can often manifest physically, including ways in the respiratory system. And when the body is under stress, the muscles around those airways start to tighten, making it harder to breathe. So by promoting relaxation and reducing stress, Stress Away can help to ease the tension in the respiratory system and really improve the breathing. Additionally, the essential oils in Stress Away may also have antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory properties, which can help support the respiratory system by reducing inflammation and fighting off really harmful pathogens. Um, and I think Stress Away is really a good oil to use for practicing your deep breathing techniques. One of my favorites is to do what I call box breathing. And it's really simple to do. Just breathe in and try to get it as deep as you can. Breathe in 4, hold that breath for 4, and then breathe out for 4, and then pause for 4. And they call it box breathing. And if 4 is too much, start with 2 breaths in, pause, 2 breaths out, pause, or 3. But it's just really, really a wonderful way to really help reduce the stress, which again slows your breathing down. Take a note that since Stress Away does have citrus oil in it, it's considered to be photosensitive, a photosensitive blend. And this means you don't want to apply it to your skin if you plan to be in direct UV rays for the next 12 hours. So either apply it where the sun's not going to be, or make sure that you cover it up with clothing if you put it on that way. And then I do want to talk to you about one of the favorites, which is Thieves Vitality. It's that essential oil blend that has cinnamon bark in it, clove, eucalyptus, lemon, and rosemary essential oils. And these all have properties that support the immune system, and such as their ability to fight off harmful microorganisms, and it really just promote an overall health and wellness. Cinnamon bark and clove in particular, they've been shown to have antimicrobial properties that can really protect the body from harmful bacteria and viruses. Eucalyptus and rosemary essential oils are known for their ability to promote respiratory health and to clear congestion, while lemon, as we mentioned before, can help detoxify the body and support that overall immune function. And when they're combined in the Thieves Vitality, these oils create this powerful immune boosting blend that really helps support your overall health and your wellness. And if you're curious, the name Thieves, it was inspired by a legend of 4 15th century French thieves who had formulated and wore a special aromatic combination of clove and rosemary, vinegar, and some other botanicals that they believed provided protection while they were stealing, and they didn't get sick, okay, when they were stealing from dead bodies. And so the story's kind of been told that when they were caught, they were offered a lesser punishment if they would divulge to the king the secret that they had used for their immunity at the time. Again, keep in mind the Thieves Vitality is one that comes in both versions. So you can get it in the solid bottle, which is larger, or you can get it in the Vitality version, which means that it can be ingested as well. So awesome. Now, remember we talked about nutrition being a key to good respiratory health, especially we needed foods that were high in antioxidants. So I have to talk about Ningxia Red, which is a superfruit antioxidant drink that contains a blend of wolfberry, blueberry, aronia, cherry, pomegranate, and plum juices, as well as natural stevia extract, grapeseed extract, and pure vanilla extract. This unique blend provides this wide range of nutrients that include the vitamins, minerals, antioxidants that really support overall health and wellness, including our respiratory system. One of the key ingredients in Ningxia Red is the wolfberry, which is also known as the goji berry, which has been traditionally used in Chinese medicine to support the lungs and the respiratory system. And the wolfberry contains high levels of antioxidants, including carotenoids, flavonoids, polysaccharides, which all help protect the respiratory system against oxidative stress and inflammation. In addition, the Ningxia Red also contains natural vitamin C, which is so important, as we said before, for respiratory health. We can't stress enough how C has been shown to reduce the severity and the duration of respiratory infections, such as the common cold and the flu. And so it's also been known to prevent respiratory illness because it enhances your immune functions. So it's really, really a good supplement puree to help boost your health. And then we've walked through, and we've just had enough time to talk about 7 of the essential oils. I just want you to know you don't have to be an expert in essential oils. You don't have to have a whole bunch of essential oils around. That's why I've only shared with you these few, because there's just so much that you can do with just a few things. But there's one other thing I do want to talk to you about, and it also comes in this premium starter kit, and that is the Thieves Hand Sanitizer. Okay, the Thieves Hand Sanitizer is plant-based hand sanitizer that can support your respiratory health by effectively killing germs and bacteria without the use of the harmful chemicals. Remember, we talked about how hand sanitizers can be so very harmful. But this one, the key ingredient is this Thieves Essential Oil Blend, which is made up of that cinnamon bark, the clove, the eucalyptus, the lemon, the rosemary that we talked about. And they're traditionally been used for their antiviral and their antibacterial properties. And they can help. This Thieves hand sanitizer is known to kill 99.9% of harmful germs and bacteria on your hands that potentially lead to respiratory infections or illnesses. Additionally, remember the use of natural hand sanitizer like the Thieves hand sanitizer can also help to avoid exposure to the harmful chemicals that are commonly found in many of your conventional sanitizers. And those often negatively impact your respiratory health. So beware of hand sanitizers that have drying alcohol in them or antibacterial chemicals. These sabotage your immune system by creating bacterial resistance, and that will decrease your immune system's natural ability to attack these yuckies. And also, they have a Thieves spray, okay? And this replaces that one aerosol that we all grew up with that is so toxic and we need to get rid of. And the Thieves spray, you can use it to spray all surfaces, doorknobs, toilet seats, wherever you go. I use it all through hotel rooms. It is so awesome. It's plant-based. It doesn't require any rinsing. You can just throw it in your purse, your luggage, wherever you're going. It clean. You can use it on different surfaces. It's so safe for the whole family, for children, for pets. It's just an awesome product to use and to replace the more toxic one that we're so used to. Well, today I've kind of talked to you about 7 of the most popular Young Living essential oils that support your respiratory health. And if you were to purchase these separately, it would cost you $126.42. But I want you to know that in our premium starter kit, you can get these 7 oils. Plus, you can get this diffuser that you see. You can get Panaway blends. You can get Valor. You can get Peace and Calming. You can get Digest. You can get Citrus Fresh. All blends that support your overall wellness. You can get 2 packets of the Ningxia Red. You can get samples of the Thieves waterless hand sanitizer that we talked about. You can get the Thieves spray. You can also get 2 Aroma Glide roller fit mitts, and you'll get some educational material, and you can get all of that for just $165. It's a $400 value that you can purchase for less than half price, okay? And who wants to pay full price when you can get it for so much less? So if you don't have your kit, if you don't have these oils, I encourage you to get them this way. It's so easy to do. You can become a customer, you purchase this, and if you get this kit, you're automatically going to get a 24% discount for the rest of the year on anything else that you purchase from Young Living. Or you can use our loyalty program and you decide to get 1 or 2 oils that way. And if you put it on the loyalty rewards program and you purchase something, maybe one thing every month, you also unlock the 24% discount. There's so many ways that you can do that. We can help you because I really want you to be able to get these oils in your home, get you to using them. If you have them already and you haven't been using them for this season, get them out. And if you don't go with any longer in the day without making sure that you order your kit today. Just use this QR code. Just take a snapshot of it. It'll take you right there to the website. If you need help, just give me a call and I'll be happy to help you at that time. I do so much want to take a moment just to thank you so much for attending this class with me. And to thank yourselves for your willingness to invest in your health. That is so very important. As we discussed in this class, your respiratory health is crucial for your overall health. And I just want to commend you for taking steps to improve yours, to protect that respiratory system, to remove environmental toxins and the toxins from your personal care products, and to do some things that will reduce the stress so that your respiratory system can be strong. You will be so happy that you made this small investment in your health. It will have pay for big, huge dividends. Again, here's the QR code. It'll take you right to the products that we've talked about today. And I encourage you to reach out to me. If there's any other way that I can help and support you, I really believe that through education and support, we can achieve all the optimal health and wellness that we deserve. And I am here to really help you on your journey. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Have a great, great rest of the day and rest of the week.